What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to No Bullshit Podcast. This one's been a long time coming, man. You know what I mean? The big game is over, and like all of you, we have our takes, and let's not waste no time. You already know it's Kai,
It's Coughlin.
and listen, bro, I'm gonna give it straight to you, bro. I know you got a lot to say, so I'm gonna just listen. Here's the floor.
Man, I guess looking from an outsider view, I guess you could say this is what definitely one of the more interesting Super Bowls for sure, right? There was a lot of back and forth. It went to overtime, right? I can't remember the last time a Super Bowl went into overtime. But yeah, man, this game it frustrated me. It frustrated me like crazy, man. We could just start off from the first quarter. It's the first possession, even. You're driving down the field pretty easily, right? And then CMC fumble, right? You just don't expect that. It's like, okay, right? But then our defense. Here's the thing. Here's what I'll say. One thing I've always said ever since a couple weeks ago when we had the Super Bowl preview, leading up to the game, I was saying, yo, our defense need to show up. I can't see a lack of effort. I can't see people jogging on the field. Chase Young, right? So credit to them. Credit to them. Defense showed up, right? The defense definitely showed up, right? But here's the thing. Defense was showing up, but our offense was, call it lackluster, man. Didn't get it done, right? But I can't fault it just purely on offense. It's a full team loss. It's a full team loss. It's people want to say, oh, yeah, Kyle Shanahan blew it again, or blah, 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 right? At the end of the day, right, when we needed it most, we did have 3 drives on the offense to take the lead, right? Our defense, we were like almost we were cracking, we were breaking, right? It's bend don't break. But we were breaking, right? But we just needed one stop, right? So I guess one highlight I've had throughout the whole game is definitely what a game by Jawan Jennings. Jawan Jennings came to fucking play tonight. Honestly, in my opinion, I feel like he could have won MVP if we won the game. He could have. Right? CMC, of course. Oh my god, he just a fucking monster on the ground and in the air. Brock Purdy in his first Super Bowl, he played solid. We didn't lose because of him. He played a good game. Now, not a great game, of course, right? Because to become great, there's more levels to it, and we'll get to that later, right? But he's had a great season, great season, right? But what I cannot let go is the fucking O-line, dog. I don't know what's going. As soon as John Feliciano, our right guard, went down, we're getting our ass kicked. We're getting our fucking ass kicked, right? And I said this multiple times in our our little group chat that we got going on, but in my opinion, Chris Jones has to be up there to be MVP of that game. He saved 3 potential touchdowns. 3! They're all wide open, right? But Brock Purdy can only do so much to evade the rush, right? And you're like, oh, you didn't hit it. You're supposed to hit it. How are you supposed to hit it if you got a fucking you got the best defensive lineman in your fucking pocket, bro? That cannot happen. That's a free rusher. 3 straight times it's a free rusher. I don't care how bad you or good you are as a a pass blocker or whatever, right? But if you just get in his way for 1 second or stop him for just a little bit, it gives you a little bit more time. Because that's all Brock Purdy needs. He just needed just a teeny bit more time, bro. He just needed a teeny bit more time to either hit a Brandon Ayuk, hit a Deebo Samuel, or hit a Jawan Jennings, or even find enough time to find Brandon Ayuk all the way back in the end zone on the last overtime drive, right? But here's the thing, it's just so frustrating, right? That I'll say this: Kyle Shanahan, first 2 quarters, he played all right. He did all right. Okay-ish, right? But third quarter, that was unacceptable. I'll say that. Third quarter was unacceptable. You're talking about 8 plays, 6 passes. You can't do that. You just can't. Right? And the main thing is that you gotta put away the Chiefs. You cannot let them hang around, right? Because eventually, some type of luck is going to fall their way. Some type of luck. You don't give good teams, especially championship winning teams, more opportunities. You can't. I've said this. Not to that team. I'm not fuck the team. Fuck the Chiefs as a team. You cannot give those possessions to Mahomes. You can't. You just can't. Because he'll do some random bullshit to make their team better, right? I just don't understand how we let another one get away. We'll let another one get away. And I could practically say that we play even better in this Super Bowl than the last one. We had them to 0 for the majority of the first half until they scored 3, right? And I thought the turning point was like in the second half, third quarter, right? We got a pick, bro. Fucking Jair Brown, a fucking rookie, man. Talking about I don't know what kind of draft draft scouts that we have on defense, but shit, we keep on drafting you fucking dimes, bro. Gems in the rough, man. Yeah, Jair Brown. Yeah, I think for the future, our secondary is definitely looking on the up. You got a Hufanga, you got a Jair Brown, you got a Lenore. Credit to Lenore on that fumble also when I think Mahomes threw it for a deep pass and then it was right in the end zone, red zone, and then Diam did a Lenore strip fumble, right? So credit to them, but it was a lot of things that did not go our way. But it's not. But here's the thing: I've always said this, and I think you could agree. It doesn't have to come to that. You cannot. You don't have to be in that situation, right? And I think the main thing that that we let them in the game was when that special teams. He called a fair catch. Why are you going so deep on the recovery and let it hit you? You don't even have to go full sprint. You don't. It's a fair catch. He literally said, "Get out the way." The fuck. He literally said, "Get out the way."
I get
He
it,
literally
bro.
said, "Get out the fucking way." I mean, then because in real time they're like, "Oh, why is Ray McLeod trying to die for it now?" Because it hit the fucking foot, so he has to go for it. But here's the thing: not only does he try to go for it, he missed. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, yes, I know you're a receiver and you're trying to get it with your hands first, but get your body on top of it. Like, jump on it. Don't fucking use your arms or hands or whatever. Just jump on it. I don't understand that at all. But moral of the game is that it's opportunities, man. Like, I've said this in our Super Bowl preview. Like, punts feel like turnovers. Could you give the other team another shot of trying to score? You can't. You just can't do that, right? And I'll get into like one more thing about the Steve Wilkes firing and stuff like that. But before we get into all that, Kai, like, I know you're a Chargers fan, so Chiefs being a divisional rival, how does that feel for you, man? So
Listen, bro. Like, not only have they gone back to back, but they've won, 3 in the last 6 years. You know what I mean? Like, never have I felt so mad that I was so right. Right? Because I said it in the preview. Like, I had the Chiefs winning, and a lot of what I said came to fruition. You know what I mean? Like, teams, for whatever reason, when you're playing the Chiefs, they overthink the game, man. Like you said, and like I said in our group chat during the game, why are y'all throwing the ball so much? Like, do what got you here. You guys were run heavy, play action pass. Like, yeah, y'all had little swing passes and jet sweeps or whatever that you used all season, but you have to do what got you there, and you also have to know the opponent you're playing, right? Like you said, fuck what they were doing on defense. What you're trying to do is you're trying to play keep away. From the moment kickoff to the end of the game, you're playing keep away from 15. So, but you don't, and this is the craziest part about it. Like, We're not coaches, right? We're not players. But we can tell you that when you constantly throw the ball, especially when you're not successful with it, what do? You get behind the sticks, right? Now you're third and 10, another incompletion, you're punting the ball 3 and out. Like 2 straight 3 and outs, and you didn't run the ball once. Like now I could understand if you didn't have a good run game or you didn't have a good running back. But you have the best running back in the fucking league. Like, there should be no reason why he didn't have like 30 plus touches, right? And all the, I have.
You might cut off. Oh shit. I don't know. Your mic just went off. I mean, I didn't hear like the last couple things you said.
That was weird. No, I was saying like what's like to the point that you alluded to um uh earlier. This is not something we haven't seen before, right? Like the last Super Bowl that you guys were in my opinion, I'm blaming that on Jimmy Garoppolo. Like Jimmy Garoppolo lost y'all that Super Bowl, so I won't put that on Kyle Shanahan. But this one and the Atlanta one, again, both times I won't only put it on him because it is a team sport, right? Not just one player loses you a game, not just one play loses you a game. But this is a trend I've seen with him as a coach, where in clutch time in Super Bowls or when when his team is facing adversity, for whatever reason, he just decides to throw the ball. Like in my head, I want to make this game as short as possible, right? I want to give 15 as little chances to make a comeback as possible. That involves running the football. And that's just he just did not do enough. It wasn't until overtime where he was actually running the ball. And what was happening? CMC was gashing him. It didn't matter what running back was back there, was gashing him, right? Like you have to tire this defense out. How do you do that? Get physical with them. Make them have to get off blocks. Make them have to make quick decisions in the run game and shit like that. Like that's how you beat this team. And yes, you just needed one stop. But to be honest, the defense played out of their mind, especially considering the fact that you're missing Hufanga, you're missing Greenlaw. These are two fucking studs on defense that you're missing. And they still kept this game close. They still gave the offense opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, right? And this is why it's a team sport because, even the special teams, like you just said, with that bad, recovery, like this is something that you practice from Pop Warner. You practice from high school, right? Like you just said, you put your body on the ball. You don't go for your hand. This is something that's practice and practice and practice. And yet again, the Chiefs are world champions when honestly the team they're playing beat themselves.
Ooh, my fault. But yeah, man, like that's the thing, man. That's the thing about the playoffs. Like you can have the better team, but are you a better team on that day, in that moment, in that situation, right? It's, in playoffs and especially Super Bowls, right? All that matters is moments, right? Because momentum can switch like that, man. It can switch just like that, right? And I felt like as soon like our defense is giving us a lot of chances on offense to try to score, right? But eventually, as soon as they recovered that punt return, whatever, right? They went on next play touchdown.
Yep.
And from that moment on, our defense could not stop them.
The whole momentum changed.
Exactly, right. And so, they were getting pressure on Purdy, moving him off the spot, right? But it goes hand in hand. Like offensive line, ass. And people, I hate it. I hate when people say, "Oh, Purdy has a perfect situation." No, he does not. People forget he's this. I'm just looking at this season, right? But for this season, he's been one of the top quarterbacks, if not the best quarterback this season, statistically, right? And he had a bottom 20 offensive line, especially pass protection. They're ranked 25.
Listen, as a Chargers fan, bro, I know your pain. right? I know your pain, bro. And as bad as the offensive line was, let's not talk about this. Where the fuck was George Kittle, and where the fuck was Debo,
And
right?
that's the
Because
thing.
one of the easiest ways to help your offensive line is by getting open, right? Like, and this is something that I've had thoughts about, but if you, talking specifically to Debo, if you're a player that's demanding top wide receiver money, top offensive player money, you have to show up in these games, bro. On being on a championship level team, you have to show up. Right? I get it. They got good DBs. I get you. But you're supposed to be on their level. They're supposed to get some plays. You're supposed to get some plays.
Yep.
You were completely taken out of the game,
Yeah.
right? And I can't necessarily put that on Kyle Shanahan and be like, oh, he should have ran the ball to him. You're a wide receiver. Get open, right? So as a team, and this would be a video for another day, right? In terms of, the whole offseason outlook,
Oh
how,
yeah,
you know,
100%, man.
but this is a conversation that if I'm in that front office, I'm thinking like, okay, is this guy a guy that we're really building around? Is he one of our cornerstones, right? Because in like Juan Jennings was showing you up, bro. And I get it, he was not facing the same DBs you were, but he was taking advantage of the opportunities when he
Bro,
had
he
them.
was fighting. He was fighting the
He was
whole
fighting.
day.
He was blocking. He was getting open. He was throwing touchdowns. He was making plays, right? And you would
Mm-hmm.
expect for one of, if not your best, offensive player in number 19 to show up. And he just didn't, right?
And
And
yeah,
and
no,
like, and
like
like you said, like it's a team game, right? So I don't want to just say, oh, Debo lost the game. He didn't, right? You can pick and choose plays and players and all this, but at the end of the day, it takes all 22 plus special teams to be on the same page, especially in crunch time, to
mm-hmm.
win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, man, and like just to add it on really quick about like our players got to show up. That's the thing, man. It's execution at the end of the day, right? Right? People want to talk about yes, Shanahan. Yes, 100%. I'll say this: Shanahan definitely had a part in us losing this game. 100%. It's always the coach. It always goes back to the
Mm-hmm.
coach, right? But what I can't fault on him is that you call certain plays, and we all know Kyle Shanahan. You scheme people to get open, but if they don't get fucking open, what happens? Right? Here's the thing. People was like, "Where's Kittle?" Even the commentator, "Where's Kittle? How many targets? Why? Oh, why are we targeting him? Because he's getting fucking strapped, bro." And here's the thing. Purdy, the few times that he did target Debo, I don't care if it's a little bit low or a little bit high. You're a receiver. You got to make those
Got to make the
plays,
catch.
right? And we've seen him make those plays throughout the season, throughout his
Mm-hmm.
career, right? And in those moments, you just got to bring it in. You got to bring it in, right? I don't want to. And a lot of what I see is like the body language, right?
Yes.
Where it's like, on a few plays, especially in the second half, fourth quarter, right? The ball was kind of low because it got tipped, right? It got
Uh-huh.
low. Debo, he was like, right?
He has
It's not.
very
It's not
bad
like
body
it's
language.
not like I'm going to try to get that,
Uh-huh.
right? And then he just walks back, just like on his, hands on his hips, like just walking back. What are you doing? Like he didn't show up, right? And people want to, and I've seen a lot of antics about like Brandon Ayuk's camp, saying, oh, you got an all-pro receiver type of receiver getting only like what 4 targets, 4 receptions. Got to do better getting him the ball, but it's like, yo, it's the whole team. It's the whole team, right? And that's why I don't really fault. Like I said that for all the things that's happened on offense during that game, Birdie played a pretty good game. He played a good game,
Yeah.
right? And like I said, special teams. Shout out to Moody. Shout out Jake Moody, man. He faced a lot of antics throughout the season about missing key winning field goals or like even in this game, right? He missed an extra point. He missed an extra point, right? That would have said, "Oh, Chiefs, you gotta get a touchdown to lead the game." But it is what it is. But here's the thing: he kicked 2 back-to-back 50-yard field goals. That's clutch. This is a rookie kicker. That is fucking clutch, man. That is fucking clutch. So credit, shout out to him. But you know, I alluded to this, earlier in this talk. Well, Steve Wilkes getting fired. Here's what I gotta say. Am I surprised? No. Right? Am I surprised? No. Like I've voiced my opinion on Wilkes even in the middle of the season when we had that 3-game losing streak. What the fuck is Wilkes doing? What the fuck is Wilkes doing, bro? He had it coming to him. He don't get it twisted. He had it fucking coming to him once Kyle Shanahan had discussions with him saying, "Yo, your ass is not in the booth anymore. We're bringing your ass down to the field." That's strike one. Strike two was when playoffs started. Your defense is not showing up. Granted, did the offense show up? No, but we came back in the second half, right? And your defense did do better in the second half, right? But it doesn't have to come to that. It doesn't, right? That's strike two. And you know what's the turning point? Strike three. Strike three was in the Super Bowl. Last drive in overtime for the Chiefs. He got Kyle Shanahan calls a timeout. Camera pans over to Kyle Shanahan, and he's giving him shit under the play sheet. He's chewing him out, bro. He's calling him out. He's like, "What the fuck are you running?" And that's respect to Kyle, because him as an offensive coordinator, he knows what are you doing. That's too easy. You're back, bro. It is a 1st and 10 or a 2nd and 10, whatever, right? You're backed off 10 yards. You can't give them free yards.
No.
Right? You can't. Here's the thing. You cannot defend to win. You have to defend like you're losing. Right? Like you can't act like, "Oh, we're winning right now." No. This is the game on the line. This is the game on the line. Like and stuff like that, I credit Kyle Shanahan for doing. Cuz it's like, yo, if he has to worry about the defense as well, it's like, yo, I have to worry about offense and defense.
So what's the point of having you?
Exactly. And here's the thing. People have said that, "Oh, if we would have won, we would have kept them." No. No. Bro, we got the closest connection to the Niners coaching staff and and front office in Greg Papa. Greg Papa is like our closest 49ers insider. He also commentates the games and stuff like that. So he knows it. Like he sits in the draft room as well. So he gets insight of what's going on and stuff like that, right? And he went on an interview. He said that he had it coming to him ever since the middle of the season.
Yeah.
Right. It's just that they didn't want to fire him middle of the season because it's too late.
Yeah.
It's too late. Right. And so he said that about Kyle Shanahan, I guess, in a way, firing him. Right. Here's the thing. It was a team discussion. He fired him.
Yeah.
Right. And it was an unexpected news conference going on the next day, and it was like, "Oh, what led you to come to a decision?" And he said, "Oh, he fired him yesterday. He was going to fire him yesterday, the day before, but he had to sleep on it."
Yeah.
He had to sleep on it. And he woke up the next day and had to call with Steve Wilkes. Say, "Yo, I'm relieving of your job."
I mean, bottom line, right? When you are coming into a position, in the perspective of Steve Wilkes, where the last two guys that held that position went on to become head coaches, you're coming into a high pressure situation, right? There's very little room for error because this team is used to greatness, especially on defense. They're used to a certain standard. So, yeah, he may not have had the worst defense in the world and all, but bottom line, when you're comparing it to defenses in the past, when you're on a championship level team, there's no room for okay, right? There's no room for that. If you want to coach okay football, go coach the Panthers or some shit. Like, you cannot be on a top seeded team and coaching an okay unit. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna fly. Right? There's a reason why he got fired, right? Just think about it. Again, Saleh, and Ryans, what did they do? Went on to become head coaches. He got fired. There's not a very high possibility that he has a job next year. That tells you everything you need to know, right? So to all those people that saying, "Oh, he's a scapegoat," you'll see this offseason when he probably won't get another job. That again tells you everything you need to know, because all these organizations, all these scouts, all these coaches, they talk, right? So if nobody's gonna pick him up and touch him, that tells you everything you need to know, right? But I'll wrap it up with this, right? From a relatively outsider, to really answer the question you asked me earlier, like, how do I feel? And it's just one of those positions where it's like I can't talk shit, right? Like that's at the core of sports. Sure, shit talk. But what do I say to a Chiefs fan that just witnessed a damn near three-peat? Like, I just have to eat my crow, right? I just gotta wait for next season. Hopefully we can knock them off. But until then, as much as I hate to say it, all respect in the world to Chiefs fans, right? Like shit, man. This is what everybody wants, right? Everybody wants to see their team at the top. As much as I hate the Chiefs, I have the utmost respect for Andy Reid. I mean, he's a class act, one of the best coaches of all time. Like I got no hate, malice, or any disrespect towards Andy Reid. Fuck Patrick Mahomes. Fuck Travis Kelce. And yeah, fuck the Chiefs. But move on to the next one. We're ready for the off season, man.
Yeah, man, I agree. But like that said, guys, be on lookout for the next future videos and stuff like that. And so, there's a lot. We're gonna get a lot of content back out. About off season. Shoot, we're. I think Kai mentioned it in our last video that we're planning to talk about some NBA stuff and all that, right? So be tuned to that. I think it's a good turning point for our channel right now. Just like being able to dive into like other sports and stuff like that, right? And so, yeah.
With that being said, bro, it's been no bullshit. We'll catch you on the next one.
All right. Peace.